everyone, and welcome to Blind Beauty. I'm Jennifer. Today we are going to continue the beginner beauty series that I have started, and I will go ahead and link to that playlist in the info button above, to where if you haven't seen it and would like to see it, then you can go check that out. But we are going to talk about foundation today, in particular liquid foundations. I'm not going to really go into powder foundations in this video, but we're going to talk about liquids at least. Now, before you ever begin, it is important to moisturize your skin. Make sure it's good and clean and moisturized, because foundation is the beginning. Well, foundation is what it is. It is the foundation for your makeup. Think about a house being built. Before that house can ever be built, there has to be a good, solid foundation for it to stand on. That's what we're doing with our makeup. We put on a good base, and then we can go on and play around and do whatever we want to do. So that's why it's so important to have a good start to your foundation routine. Now, a clean skin, moisturized, any type of toner, all that done, then we go ahead and go into primer. But as you have probably seen in previous videos of mine, I use the Monistat Chafing Relief Powder Gel right here. I use this one myself because I enjoy it. It's a great primer. However, there are primers out there such as Baby Lips, the Nivea Shave Balm, or Aftershave Balm. I've heard about it. I have not tried that, though, as of yet. So, depending on the formula of your foundation, what primer will work with it. For example, if it is a oil-based foundation, it wouldn't go very well over a water-based primer. I use a silicone feel primer, powdery feel, so that works for me with any foundation I've tried so far. But there are so many primers out there, both drugstore, high-end, and whatnot, that sometimes you just have to go with what works for you and works for your skin. That is the key with foundation. You have to go with what feels comfortable to you and what works for you. For me, personally, the stick foundations do not work that well. I find that they're too dry, even though I have combo skin. Foundation sticks, I have not found a good one that went on evenly and smoothly and did not look patchy on me. That is my issue with foundation sticks. Now, for a concealer, sometimes they can work, but not foundation, at least in my book. So we're going to jump into the tools that you might need for foundation. Whenever you're going to apply foundation, one thing that's very important is to put your hair up. Now you can tell I have quite a head of hair here. Now, for me, yes, if I don't put it up, then I get foundation all in my hair sometimes, especially for a beginner. It's very easy to do. Now, you also have to still be careful even after you do put it up, because you can still get it on the edges of your hair as well. So you can use a claw clip like such. You can use a clip like they use for cutting hair, this kind of clip, because I use the small clips because this is just right for my length hair, because mainly I try to put the top half up. You can also use a ponytail holder, just a standard run-of-the-mill ponytail holder right here. Or, and one of my favorites actually to use as well, is a plain headband. Now this is the wraparound kind. I bought this one a while back from the Dollar Tree, but you can find regular headbands that go all the way around like this one, or you can use it just a regular headband as well. But we're going to go ahead and put that on. So, put that on and get it in place and everything, and get my hair out of my face here. Okay, you can tell that that makes a big difference getting my hair back. In my previous tutorials, you may notice that a lot of times I do have my hair pulled back in a ponytail or something. That is because of this reason right here. Let's get on into application tools. Now, whenever you do foundation, you don't have to have any of these, okay? These are my opinions, and I am not a professional by any means. I am visually impaired, so I'm telling you what works for me as a visually impaired makeup or beauty enthusiast, okay? Now, you have the choice of regular sponges. This is one of the pro makeup sponges that are cheap at Walmart. Yes, mine is dirty because I have used it. Now, a sponge like this, just a standard sponge, they're okay. They work. But I don't recommend them with a really liquidy consistency foundation, because this will suck up the foundation even if you wet it. So that's the key with this here. Now, I'll go into the next one here. We're going to jump back and forth a little bit here. Now, this is a brush. Now, it's not my favorite tool to use for foundation. Sorry, the lighting is not the best in here, but you can tell it's densely packed. It's not as thickly packed as one of the e.l.f. ones that I have used, but it works. It will get the job done. But for me, using a brush, I'm more likely to have streaky foundation. But if I work and work and work at it, it doesn't. And I will show one side with my favorite tool that I'm about to mention, and then one side with this brush. So my favorite tool of all, besides my fingers, because I do use my fingers quite a bit, and I have demonstrated this in a previous video as well, this is the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. It looks like this here, has a point at one end, which is great for getting under those eyes and in that inner corner. And then you have a flat side here, so that is great for doing the blending in and smoothing out, really. And then it's just like a rounded all elsewhere, which is great for patting in that foundation. Now, we are going to go ahead and talk about the different foundations that I have, and then we'll get into the actual application. Now, I'm going to talk about 4 different ones, and I'm going to go from level of coverage, at least in my opinion, the least coverage to the most coverage. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about each. Now, I am combination skin, so I am dry in some areas, oily in others, and I'm somewhat fine in some areas of my face. But for me, personally, I use the Maybelline Dream Pure BB Cream. This is the lightest coverage. I have done a clip of this, or a tutorial using this before, but this is the kind that we're going to be using today anyway. So I won't link, well, I will link the tutorial with that, but, and then the next highest coverage, which is more of, this right here is more of a natural finish right here, but there is some coverage to it. Now, the next highest would be the Maybelline Fit Me. This is the matte and poreless. Now, these are all, the ones I'm going to mention are all great for oily skin people, but the matte and poreless is also works, from what I've seen on YouTube and whatnot, can also work for people who are dry skinned as well. So I do recommend that for any skin type, really. It even says on here, I believe, for oily, normal to oily skin. But this will work for dry skin as well, possibly. Now, different people, different foundations work differently. But this right here is about a medium coverage in my book. It's not nearly your fullest coverage, but it is a good medium coverage. So that's great if you're wanting just a little bit better than the Maybelline Dream Pure BB Cream. Then the next step up, and it's pretty close actually, not much more, not much better than the matte one. This is the Ready Set Gorgeous Foundation, Fresh Complexion Foundation by CoverGirl. Now this is a little bit dark for me, really and truly, and this does not look like skin. The other two can look like skin depending on how you apply it. This seems to sit more on top of my face than blend in very well. But it still works. It's still a great foundation for me. And I think it also depends, all these depends on how much foundation you actually apply, because you can apply way too much and then it will sit on top. It won't look as natural. Now this one here It is really a great full coverage foundation. Now, I have watched Emily Noel for a long time. Emily Noel 83. I will leave her link down below. She's one of my favorite, if not my, well, she is one of my top 2 favorites, or top 3 favorite YouTubers. But she is one of the first people I ever started watching on YouTube, and I learned a lot of my tips from her. Well, this right here is the Rimmel Stay Matte foundation, and I agree with her. She did a review on this a while back to make sure your skin is well moisturized before you use this, whether if you have combination skin especially. Certain areas I will use a different moisturizer, but areas that I get oily I'll just normal moisturize my skin. But say on drier areas or areas that I have marks or whatever, I will use a creamier moisturizer because this will cling to dry patches. So this is great for people who get really oily. You will stay looking great for hours, but if you are dry skin, this might be something you want to pass up on. Now let's go ahead and jump on into the application, and I'm going to do one side of my face is going to be done right. Actually, we're going to go with the left side, which would be your right side, I believe. My left side, I am going to do right, and then my right side, I'm going to do wrong. And I'm going to talk to you about what the difference is as I go. So, whenever you're putting on a foundation, first you want to make sure that you have the right color. Because if you don't have the right color, then honestly it can look like a mask, like you're wearing a mask. And natural beauty is very popular. Many people say the key to makeup is to look like you aren't wearing any. Well, you want to look like you have flawless skin without looking like you've actually got the foundation on. That's where some of my issues come in with the Ready Set Gorgeous foundation. Personally, I look like I am wearing something, but it's not as obvious as if I did the complete wrong color. Now, for the right side, I am using my Dream Pure BB Cream in medium. Now, this does come in several shades, and I'm going to put it directly onto my fingers first. Okay, and I'm using a little bit too much. I'm not going to use every bit of this. And I will be grabbing a makeup wipe probably to get some of it off. But I'm just dotting it all over my left side. And don't forget, you want to get that nose, because you don't want to forget your nose. And they say to start at the inside and work your way out. I've done a lot of research on how to apply foundation. So what I have left, I'm just going to drag down my neck a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to take my Miracle Complexion Sponge by Real Techniques, and I'm going to bounce this all over the left side of my face. And I'm going to use my mirror here so that I can make sure I'm doing this right. So if you see me looking over to my left, your right, that's why. You want to make sure, and you can tell, I'm not picking this all the way up and bouncing like this. I am lightly picking up to where I can still feel the sponge hitting my face. Because otherwise, for me, I can't always tell if it's blended in completely. So, I am doing the left side of my face here, and then once I get a good amount on and blend it in, I will take and kind of, it's really a tap and a swipe at the same time. I will do that. I apologize for the noise in the background again. But you can tell I'm taking it all the way down my neck. Now, you don't always have to do this. If it matches you just right, you don't need to go all the way down like I am. And it does match me fairly well. I will get in a little bit closer here. But I try to at least go about right here, if I can. Just past my jawline a little bit, and just down. Well, imagine if you had a hairline that went all the way around your neck. I stop it like my hairline, basically, or try to. And I make sure to blend down. Okay. Alright, you can tell that one side of my face is done. But it's more of a natural coverage, like I said. Now we're going to go into... Some girls think, oh, well, I could just get a darker foundation, or I could get this or that and look even darker than I am. That is why I wore what I am wearing today, to show you how that would look if you did that. So I'm using the Dream Pure BB. Now this is in the shade Deep. They do have a step up from this called Medium Deep, but for the sake of wanting to look a big difference here, we're using Deep. This is one I bought last summer. So, and I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to do the same thing, only I'm using a different tool. But I am going to show you the right way to use the tool, just not the exact right look and everything. So, you can see that is significantly darker than this one here. Hold the two side by side here. Okay, the one that we're about to use is significantly darker than the other. So we're going to put just a little bit on my fingers. Well, we're going to go with about the same amount, actually. But not nearly as much. We're putting that much. And you can tell that's almost a cocoa chocolate color, really. And we're going to dot it, just like before. Now, you can go directly in with a tool of some kind and do it. Okay, see, I've dotted it and kind of spread it a little bit, which does work quite well, actually, to do. Whoops, knocking stuff over, trying to get my little hand thing, because this is significantly darker. But you want to work quickly after you get it on, because it will set. Now, I'm taking this, and I start at the bottom, personally, and you do, like, buffing motions all over your face. Now, if you did it right, the right way, you can tell that's so dark. But if you did it the right way, you would go ahead and blend down, like I talked about. But for the sake of this, we're going to stop right about the jawline. Okay? And we're not as focused on doing the eyes, like even with the other one, I tapped on my eyes a little bit. But with this one, we're leaving the eyes completely bare. Now for me, yes, it's important to get those eyes. And I'm not going all the way back like I did on the other one. Because on this side, I went almost to my ear, practically. But it does match me better than this side does. So we're leaving the eyes completely undone. And just buff, buff, buff. Now you can tell, see that big old line there? I can't really see that well right now in the viewfinder, but there is quite a bit of a line there. And if you try to bronze up your face only, then that's what it would look like. Even if I brought it down just a little bit. This is so dark that even if I brought it down just a little bit, you can still tell that it does not match me at all. At all. So that's why you want to get one that actually matches you. And you can do circular motions, but with a brush like this, it's hard to get in little crevices, like around the bottom of your eyes, in that crease right there between your nose, under your nose, and all that. So that's where even doing a combination of that and this can work. Or there are smaller versions of these now, which I have not tried yet, but I'm planning on trying soon, hopefully. But using this here. Now, I know I look crazy, but one other tip, I don't know if you noticed, whenever I started using these tools, they are clean, or they were clean rather. So that is also key, because if you're using dirty products on your face, dirty tools on your face rather, then you are more likely to break out because of putting foundation on. Some people blame the foundation making me oily or greasy or acne prone or whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's not the foundation at all. Sometimes it's the tools that they use when applying the foundation. So that's the key right there. Make sure they are good and clean before use. So if you have any questions about foundation and what you need to do, go ahead and shoot me a message on Facebook. You can respond to this video or whatever. You can send me a message, you can email me, you can contact me on Twitter, you can contact me on Instagram, Snapchat, and I will leave all the links to all those social media down below. And also on my WordPress blog, wordpress.com/blindbeauty83, or, pardon me, it's not that address, it's blindbeauty83.wordpress.com. I apologize. But that is my blog, and expect next week for us to be doing a concealer video. We're going to talk about concealer and the right way and the wrong way to apply it as well. And let me know, do you like this method? Do you like seeing the right side compared to the wrong side? Do you want to see more videos like this as I go through this beauty tutorial, or the beauty basics, really? Do you want to see the right and the wrong? Or would you rather just see completely right, no confusion, no mistakes, all that? Which, honestly, you wouldn't get no mistakes because I'm not a professional. But is that what you would prefer? Let me know down below. Comment and let me know. And please, 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 if you would, please share this video on your Facebook, Twitter, wherever the case may be, because that is the one way that we're going to get the word out about this channel. And I do hope that we together can help make beauty accessible. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye.